Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. I'm your host, Scott Carson, always jacked up to be here. We've got a special afternoon edition of the show today with a rock star who is going to give you a little bit of punch straight to the note gut, as we like to call it here. Somebody who, known for a short period of time, met her at the New Media Summit conference here in Austin, Texas. Hit it off right off the bat. Just absolutely love her energy. I love the fact that she does not blow smoke. She does not blow shit up there. She is a straight shooter, straight to the gut kind of conversations. And if all of you know that have watched my show, that's kind of how I am. We don't pull any punches. We're here to shoot it straight to you, whether you like it or not. You can love us or hate us, but you know you'll always get the honest truth here. And so we're honored to have joined us from sunny California on this rainy, soaked afternoon. The one, the only, the lady, the myth, the legend, Miss Ruby Fremon with LovePunch podcast. What is going on, Ruby, here? We got a little hang on applause. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow. That is impressive. I love that.
I do have this ready for you to come out to you as well. We talked about this before,
yes,
the F-box.
We did talk about that. Yeah,
what's
thank
going
you.
on? How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing better now that I'm here with you.
It's been a rough day.
It's just been one of those days where I have been grinding, and you know when you have like a giant salad and you start eating it, and it's like the salad's still there, it's still giant, it's not getting any smaller. That's what today has felt like.
Now, what you're going to ask, is this like just kale salad, or are you talking like got tomatoes and other things in there, the good stuff, the good things?
Oh, it's all the good stuff. It's all good stuff. It's just there's a lot all at once happening.
Well, so, that's a good sign then. That means you're busy and things are rocking and rolling and kicking butt. So before we dive into why don't you take a second and share who you are and what LovePunch is all about and kind of your expertise? Because I know we got a lot of great people. We got we got some fans already showing up. Phoebe is saying hi. What is up, Phoebe?
Hey,
our friend over there with the Unbecoming podcast. We got William BKC saying, hey, Scott, what's going on, William? Good stuff out there. So who is Ruby Fremon? Let's start there, huh?
Yeah, well, how much time do we have? Who is Ruby Fremon? I am a no bullshit, no nonsense life coach who is here to help you amplify your voice and use that voice to create impact on this planet. So I specialize in working with the new generation of thought leaders, people who really know they have a message and a purpose, but are struggling with putting themselves out there to make their voices heard.
I love that. So let's talk about that, because we here are, as we like to say, our hashtag, our note family. We've got entrepreneurs and people that are watching this from all across the country, actually internationally too, that are listening to this out there as well. A lot of people are going from working like a job and chasing the entrepreneurial dream, starting to become kind of a leader in their industry, you know, whether they're starting off or they've been in it for a while. What are the biggest hurdles that you see from your clients out there that they're struggling to get the word out or really kind of maybe identify who they really are?
Yeah, one of the biggest hurdles I see people fall into is the one where they do not take action due to wanting to have it all super freaking clear.
Oh.
Like, I need to know exactly who I'm speaking to. I need to know exactly what I'm offering. I need the perfect tagline. I need the perfect website. I need the perfect logo before I put myself out there.
Wow.
And that is something that so many people struggle with. Part of it is perfection, but so much of it is also that fear of judgment, that fear of being seen as an imposter, that fear of not being taken seriously, that fear of, oh, I don't have anything different to offer. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And they're letting that bullshit hold them back from actually taking action.
I love that. I had a good friend of mine, Greg Reed, who's the author of Think and Grow Rich, 3 Feet from Gold. And he told me one time, he goes, you have to stop believing the bullshit that you tell yourself. As one thing that somebody told him, one of his mentors told him early on. And I think every entrepreneur struggles with that aspect. We want everything to be perfect. And we all know perfection is impossible to achieve, I think is the way I look at it. Just deliver is better than perfect, right?
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that story. So when people get caught up, like say the thing that's really holding you back is I'm afraid that people are going to judge me. So that's a story that you carry in your subconscious mind at all times. And what you're doing is subconsciously throughout the day, every single day, is you're finding evidence to prove that theory correct, right? Like you're seeking out evidence. Oh, see, that person judged me. Oh, see, that person wrote that comment on my IG. Oh, see, this happened. And then you completely ignore, the dozens or hundreds of other examples of people proving that to be incorrect. And so what I always tell my clients is like, seek out evidence to prove your stories wrong, because you've been seeking out evidence to prove those stories right, and it is not working for you.
That's so awesome there. So what's the thing? How do we take a love punch to our head what are some things that we can do to overcome that, Ruby?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to be aware, right? And this is where I think a lot of people trip up is they don't really fully acknowledge what it is that's holding them back. They want to use excuses like, oh, it's because I don't have enough resources. I don't have the support. I don't have the money. I don't have the this. I don't have the that. And they don't see, first of all, they aren't aware of the fact that, oh, it's me and my stories that's actually holding myself back. It's my fear of judgment that's holding myself back. So actually looking at that, being aware of it, and then owning it. Like saying, okay, yeah, this is my shit. I'm going to own my shit in this moment. Because the moment you own your shit is the moment that you gain the power to create any sort of change, right? So for anyone listening or watching, like, what is it that's really holding you back? And get super freaking honest with yourself. Get super honest with yourself about what that is. How, in fact, ask this question. How am I holding myself back? In what way specifically am I holding myself back? And write out what comes up for you and like really sit with that and own it.
Ooh, I love that. I absolutely love that. How am I holding myself back? Ask yourself that. And I think there are a lot of times a lot of people just throw up stupid shit. You mentioned it there. Oh, look for that one person, that one negative Nancy, that one Debbie Downer out there versus 100 people that liked your post, right? Or the 5 people that responded back positive, and you only pay attention to the one person who called you an idiot or said, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, when that person is just a dark hole of a soul, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, seek out evidence that's going to prove you're right, prove those stories wrong, but that begins with you actually understanding your stories and owning them, right? Owning all the ways in which specifically you are holding yourself back, or all the ways in which specifically you are getting in your own way.
Mm-hmm. So I deal with a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that are listening and watching out here that are an Extra Note family, and we're big on marketing. I'm not, I'm not scared to market. I'll do some crazy stuff out there. I'll put on a 4th of July hat and a beard and wish everybody a happy 4th of July just to be goofy and self just to get to work. But a lot of people aren't the Wild West gunslinger. Hang on here. That I am. Okay. They're not that, but they're reserved. They're more introverted. Mm-hmm. For those that are introverted who are scared, is there like simple things that they could do to start building confidence? Or with your clients that you work with, is there a simple step that you like to do, or tools that give them to help them kind of get it out there and start taking action?
I mean, I'd rather just push someone off a plane and tell them to learn how to fly on the way down. But in all honesty, we don't get over our shit unless we actually have the courage to face it. And so, believe it or not, I am highly introverted. And a lot of people think introverts are uncomfortable around the camera. Introverts are more comfortable in front of a camera and a computer screen than most people are, because I'm in the safety of my house. I might have pajama bottoms on. You don't know. So all of this is bullshit. You're labeling yourself and you're owning that label and everything that comes with it by saying, I am an introvert and this is just who I am and how I'm going to do it. So if you were my client and you came to me and said, I'm introverted, I'm scared of going on the camera, I'd ask you, what are you really scared of? And you would share with me what that is. Well, I'm scared of being judged. I'm scared of being, being seen, whatever it is. And I'd be like, well, I wonder what the way out of this would be, should you just do a video and see what happens? Because what really happens is, say it's the worst case scenario, you have crickets, because really that's the worst case scenario, or you have a troll who says some stupid shit in the comments. You're still here, you're still breathing, you're still around. Nothing's changed. You've just learned something. And it's the persistence of continuing to put yourself out there in that way that's going to help you build that skin. Because at some point in your life, you're going to have to say, like, my purpose and my mission and my vision is so much bigger than my bullshit. And if you don't make that decision, or you don't choose to believe that, then you're going to be stuck in your bullshit for the rest of your life. It's just not going to work.
So that's so true. So never go skydiving, Ruby, or this will be you.
Yeah, I have been known to push my clients. I even had a client who was like scared of putting herself out there. And so on a VIP day, I took her on flying trapeze. And I was like, this is what you're going to do today.
That's a great, I love that. That's a great thing. Get people outside of their head.
Yeah.
Going out and doing something that maybe scares them, but it's not the same thing as speaking in front of an audience, or filming a podcast episode, or doing a webinar out to their audience, or an email blast out to their database. It's a little bit something.
All of those are really great examples because they're so different. Right. But if you actually get down to the nitty gritty, the fears are all the same. Like whether it's the email blast or the video or speaking on stage, the fear is the same. I'm scared of being seen as an imposter. I'm scared of not knowing what I'm saying. I'm scared of being judged by the people who are going to read this or see this or watch me on stage. It's all the same shit.
I'm enjoying. We got people out here. Phoebe says, "Dark hole of a soul." Ha. She liked that one.
that was a good one, Scott.
You can use it. You give me credit for it 3 times, and then you can use it from there. All right. People, and especially, you work with a lot of people that are experienced doing some things, and people still struggle with stuff. Or you're also working with people that are new to their fields, correct? Too, right, Ruby? Or no?
Yeah. Yes, both, because that shit doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you know this. I know this.
Mm-hmm. We still have dark holes in our head.
We still have dark holes. We still have dark souls. No, we don't. Our souls are sparkly and clean and nice, but we still have our shit that we deal with. That doesn't go away. We get better at navigating it.
That is a great thing, because we navigate our fears. We navigate around them, or I know there's things that I struggle with that I'm like, okay, I build up to it. Okay, I'm going to do this. I build up to it. Okay, I'm going to get it done. And always, the fears are worse in my head. And for most people, the fears are always worse in our heads than it actually turns out to be in real life, right?
They amplify. As long as you're keeping it in your head and not taking action on it, it's just going to sit there and amplify because you're anticipating. And anticipation, it raises the vibration of fear. And so what you want to do is you want to just take that actionable step. Like, what is the one thing that you can do to help you move past the fear and prove the fear wrong? You know, like, what is one small piece of action you can take? So many of my clients, whether it's, I have a lot of clients where they've struggled with doing videos. We get them on video and they're like, oh, wow, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Because we do this really like crazy shit in our heads where we anticipate things, we make things feel so much heavier and worse than they are. When we actually do the thing, it's not that bad.
You're cracking me up on some of the things there, because I'm hearing people's conversations. Like, I just talked to a guy literally about 15 minutes ago, called me before I got on with you, wanted to get into what we do with note investing. And I'm like, okay, great. What's your background? I don't have any background. I'm like, everybody's got a background. What's your background? And I said, have you taken any classes on real estate investing? Oh yeah, I took this one guy and I took this other thing. I'm like, okay, have you pulled the trigger on anything? Oh, no. I don't want, I decided it wasn't for me. I'm like, okay. So you want to do this one that you want to do performing notes? I'm like, great. Are you going to use your own money? He's like, oh, no. I'm going to use other people's money. Okay. But he called me in on a block caller, no caller ID. I said, well, do you have this and this and this? You have like LinkedIn profile? Do you have like a Bigger Pockets profile? Do you have social media profiles where you can write? Oh, no. I need to be secret. I'm like, how are you going to get out to investors or get the word out on what you're doing to help you evolve, help you get out of the rut you're in? And he's like, I'm like, if you're not going to do that, you might as well just go back to your job and quit doing real estate. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like that answer.
Yeah. I bet he didn't. People want a quick fix. They want a quick solution to all of their problems, when really, by refusing ownership of your shit, like your problems, that's what's going to keep you stuck in this cycle or even perpetuate it. So if you have something to say, if you have a message, if you have a purpose, if you have a mission, services, products, whatever it is, how are people supposed to find you if you're not putting yourself out there? And especially in today's day and age where the social media landscape is so freaking loud, right? Everyone's out there saying something, being loud. So you got to do it in your own way, in a way that really vibes with your energy and the way that only you can show up, and speak about what it is that you are an expert on, and do so unapologetically.
Mm-hmm. Do you see that a lot of your clients and a lot of entrepreneurs out there are judging themselves on competition or other people, and they think they need to do exactly what everybody else does, but they don't realize that person has been doing it for 10 years or 5 years. They don't think about the fact that maybe they started grassroots effort wise,
Yeah. I mean, we see the highlight reel on social media, and that's why social media is like a gift and a curse. And social media has also given rise to comparisonitis. Like everyone is suffering from comparisonitis because we're just seeing people's highlight reels on social media. And what you're not seeing is the hours of labor, of effort, of energy, of resources that they have invested in themselves and what they have created and built, which is also why, on the flip side, I feel that authenticity always wins. The way that I've always presenting myself online is I'm going to show up however I am. If I'm in the middle of my shit, if I'm learning something, I share that with my audience, because that's what really shines through all the noise, is being authentic. But yeah, I mean, social media has made it super awful for comparisonitis. I mean, I still fall victim to it when I'm scrolling when I shouldn't be scrolling. And when we get sucked into the black screen and we're just like, okay. Meanwhile, 2 hours later, I'm still glued to my phone. But, and you have to break free from that and understand that what you have is different, because you are different. And, but the only way that people are going to know is if you just use your voice and present yourself to the world. Otherwise, you're going to be complaining about not making money, about your mission not taking off, about your services not selling. And guess what? It's your own damn fault.
We are all the product of the decisions that we have made on a daily basis. We are all here where we're at because of what we said yes to, or what we said no to, or what we decided not to do. And a decision was made for us. And that's one of the big things I tell people, like, listen, whether you do or don't, a decision is being made. Either you're going to get out there and send an email out to your database to raise capital or find deals or do something, or you're not. And then they're going to get an email from somebody else who's going to go do that. And you're going to be like, man, I should have done, I should have, could have, would have. Well, you just should have done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should have, could have, would have. It's like what are the ducks from Disney? What's not Donald's cousins? Laffy Wacky, I don't know. I can't remember what.
I'm like DuckTales, the show.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't remember. Huey, Dewey, and Louie or something like that.
Oh yeah, Huey. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have a Disney fan on here like getting mad at me because I called him the wrong name. But anyway, whatever. Yeah. The point I think you agree with here is it's just start taking steps, start taking action items, start filming a video, start taking action to do some stuff. And let's face it, we all struggle. I know you and I've talked about everything. I've struggled with things with our coaching and my business from time to time. Everybody goes through peaks and valleys, right, Ruby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the valleys are what teach us things. They teach us how to show up better, or the things that when we learn what doesn't work, we learn so much more about what then could work. So embrace those failures. I just posted about this on Instagram yesterday, like embrace your mess. Like, this is a really, really messy journey. And, you know, we've all seen that graph where like it shows the entrepreneurial journey where it's like not a straight line. It's the squiggly line that goes, yeah. I mean, that is the mess that we live as entrepreneurs. And it's going to be messy, but you've got to embrace it because that's the journey that you've signed up for. If you're expecting like just this straight shot up, then, ooh, you're in the wrong business because that's not how this works. And I would find that a little boring because you're never really learning anything. You know, I would think that you would plateau at some point.
Well, and that's true. We all plateau. You have success for a while. If you're not constantly putting yourself out there, you plateau or start to sink. I know we've been going through changes in our business with in a variety of different things on the asset acquisition we do, or our marketing side, or the classes that we do. And it's a lot of plate spinning. And you mentioned, you know, if you want to spin plates, you're in the wrong business, right?
Yep.
Of an entrepreneur. But there's times that you just have to let plates fall to focus on the bigger plate, right? Or delegate that to somebody. And do you have any tips for anybody out there who can't let go of everything, who's the control freaks out there? Like you mentioned earlier, they want to do everything perfect because they want to do it all themselves.
Okay. My what I'm going to say to you is bravo. You're going to be stuck exactly where you're at. Keep it up. I mean, at some point, you just can I say the F-bomb on here? I'm like having a
go right ahead.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Just so you know.
I mean, at some point, you're gonna have to say fuck perfection and just show up. I mean, I have fucked up it feels so good. I was saying frick and I was like, that's not working. I have fucked up so much in my entrepreneurial journey and in my endeavors. And people are so afraid of that because they look at it as failure, because the way that we've been raised, most of us, like when we fail, it's the worst thing ever. We're going to be punished. It's a bad. We're not going to move on to where we want to be. Like, these are stories that we're told. So we carry this into adulthood. So anytime that we're faced with doing something that could possibly lead us to failure, we are going to hesitate. What you need to understand as an adult is that when you're in the pit of failure, like when you actually fuck up, when something actually fails, your life isn't over. You have an opportunity. And it's up to you to utilize that opportunity, and you utilize it through resilience by bouncing back up and by doing something else that's better, because now you've learned from this failure. So failure is actually like, we want to look at it as our foe, but it's like one of our best friends because it teaches us something so powerful. And the more that I have failed, the cozier I've become with failure. And you know, a lot of people use the word fearless. I don't believe in becoming fearless. Fear is there for a reason. However, when you are comfortable with the idea of failure, it's so easy to just run right fucking through your fears. But all of this, and I want to emphasize this to everyone listening, all of this is like a muscle. You have to work it out every single day. So what is something that you could do today? And this is like real life here. Like, I really want you to think about this. What is something that you could do today that is going to take you towards your fear? One actionable step that will have you leaning into your fear, that you know that if you were to do this, you would be closer to achieving X, Y, or Z, whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. What is that one thing? And then, yes, go fucking do it.
Bravo. I love it. But that's the thing. I think in our neck of the woods, Gary Keller from Keller Williams Realty wrote a book called The One Thing. All right.
Yes, the best book.
Best book. And he talked about, if you've never read it, go out and buy it, because it talks about how he was coaching entrepreneurs, realtors in their business. And he would give them a list of things to do, homework to do every week or every night. And they'd meet every week and come back, and he'd ask them how many people got the things done. They're like, oh, we didn't get any of it done. And he just kept driving them bonkers, like, oh my gosh. So he narrowed it down from like 10 things to 5 things. Finally, none of them would get it done until he gave them just one thing to do. And that's what got done. That one thing, it got done because people weren't overthinking it. They went out and did it. Go ahead and got it done. But, you know, unfortunately, a lot of us, we like to add on to-do lists of crap, and we try to do all this other stuff versus the big rocks in our business, the big rocks that we need to do to really help us grow or help us get out the door, get out of our own way, get out of our own mind, and actually start seeing growth take place, right?
Yeah, because those big rocks are scary. Right. And so when we're scared of doing something, we feel overwhelmed, and then we go and distract ourselves with all the other 1,000 little to-do items that we could add, because then that makes us feel like, well, at least I'm keeping busy. Well, you might be busy, but you're completely and highly unproductive. Like, why would you do 10 other things that are not going to get you the results that you desire versus like this one actionable step that is going to get you everything that you desire?
And do you think a lot of our fears of failure come from our parents or come from our family, how we're raised?
Definitely. I mean, all the stories that we carry, the programming, it stems from how we were raised, our upbringing. So this can come from like our parents, our siblings, our loved ones, teachers, what we're taught by society, what we've read in the papers and the magazines, all of that. Our minds are really interesting things. Our subconscious mind is always picking stuff up. And then once we've picked that up, like I said earlier, we're seeking evidence to always prove that right. But the thing that people forget too is, just like an iPhone, we have these iOS updates, and our phone prompts us. Our phone actually says, hey, it's time for an iOS update. Human beings are not built with that prompt. And so we kind of go on our entire lives running this iOS system from like the 70s, 60s, 80s. Like, this shit is no longer valid, okay? We are now into the era of smartphones. So you have to consciously update your iOS by being, again, aware of all the ways in which you're holding yourself back and all the stories that you're telling yourself and all the fears, and really owning it, and then doing, like what I call CPR, being courageous enough to do the thing that you've been afraid to do, be persistent to keep doing it even when it doesn't work, and be resilient enough to get back up when it fails.
All right, hang on a second. That was good. Courageous, persistent,
resilient. Yeah, that's my CPR method. And I do have a free training on that on my website. So if you want to grab that, you guys can.
Hang on a second. Don't be giving away yet. We'll throw it on here. I want to make sure. There we go. Because I want to be able to type it in time for you, because that's so I love that. CPR, being courageous, persistent, and resilient. I don't even know if I spelled resilient right, but who cares? It's not perfect.
It's okay.
I'm taking action.
It's not perfect. It's perfection.
That's right. But that's a good thing. I forgot you mentioned that at the New Media Summit was one of the notes I wrote down. I was like, oh, it's a valuable aspect of things. We all have to kind of invigorate ourselves. And we always I think we need to sometimes find good people around us to do CPR on us, right? Yeah. To really help us with that, right? Coaches, family, friends.
Yeah, mentors.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because we don't always see our blind spots. But if you're looking for support in that way, understand that you have to be willing to receive the support, okay? Because again, this is ownership. If someone points out a blind spot, you have to be willing to actually look at it and say, oh yeah, I'm going to own this.
Yeah, you have to be willing to say, yes, I own my shit. I'm goofy in the head. Let me, here's what I need to do. And move forward with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and do something about it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all have the power to change, so why not?
There we go. We have the decision to make a change of ourselves. I got to figure out, because that's a great dollar nugget there for everybody out there. I'm like a toy. I love my noisemakers. I got all sorts of things, because a lot of people are out there running around like crazy. They're
Okay. Can you just post a screenshot of like just on your just you got to do a post of like, here's all my noise machines that I use in all my recordings.
Somebody commented the other day on an iTunes review, they love the noise machines. It shakes it up and makes them laugh a little bit, and it's just enough of the inner kid in me. I mean, it's the best $10 ever spent in San Francisco was on the sound machine off the road down there. But it gives me an opportunity there to joke. And I think one of the biggest things I think that it can help entrepreneurs is to be able to laugh at themselves and not take themselves so seriously. Although a lot of people are way too serious about themselves when they realize, listen, it's life. You're going to screw up. And I know that, and you've said this before, I've said it throughout here, that some of our best ideas, our best action plans have come out of failure of another event or of another thing we tried. And so that's the biggest thing. I'm not afraid to try something on a daily or weekly basis, knowing that it's probably going to lead to something else, and go from there. And I know you're the same way too, right?
Exactly. And you just, if you want to get from where you are to where you want to be, at some point you're gonna have to face your shit. So you get to decide, is that today, is that tomorrow?
Exactly. Because the sooner you start taking an action, the sooner you'll get to your goals. Because let's face it, nobody ever sat in their deathbed glad that they didn't take chances. Everybody's always got regrets of stuff that they did not do. And I'll give you an example. I talked to a person earlier today who's been going through cancer, and they didn't get to do even a chunk of what they did. I got another person I talked to as well who's going through really being sick. He's like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it at the end of the year. And I'm like, man, what can we do to help you? He goes, I don't know. There's so much I wanted to accomplish, and I let my own bullshit get in the way of not taking opportunity. And it's just like, oh, that's such a, you don't want to be there. Right? So, Ruben, now on a positive note, Ruby, you work with so many different types of entrepreneurs. Why don't you talk a little about some of the things that you're doing, some of the coaching that you're doing for entrepreneurs, and how people can best get a hold of you to get a little bit of LovePunch. We'll discuss LovePunch in a second, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on all the social media platforms, so feel free to just reach out. I'm highly engaged. You can just find me on IG, Twitter, Facebook at I am Ruby. I offer one-on-one coaching. This is the highest offer that I have. It's for those who are like highly committed to get shit done quickly. And then I also have a digital training, which is really effective for those who are quick starters and just need the support to get your message to the masses. And that's that digital training is called Unleashed Unapologetic. And then finally, the third option, which is like currently my favorite thing to talk about at this moment, is Amplified Soul Live, which is my 3-day event that I love hosting and running. It's coming up in February in Los Angeles. And this is the only event that is geared to help people step into thought leadership. So if you're looking to become a recognized and sought after thought leader in your industry, this is the place to be.
When is that?
February 22nd to the 24th in Los Angeles. And the info for that is on my website, rubyfremon.com /ASL.
Let me show this here for everybody so you can see it there and make a note of it. Guys and gals out there, what other questions, comments do you have for Ruby out here? Just just a fire hose of truth out here. We got a fan here for you. Basically, Harsh says anyone who's worked with Ruby knows how powerful her work is. ASL is such a mind-shifting event and tons of fun. There we go.
Thank you, Harsh. I look forward to seeing you in Feb.
Good stuff there. But that's the thing. Yeah. You and I were visiting at New Media Summit, and we were on a lot of different panels, around a lot of great people out there, and giving a lot of advice to people that were starting off. And absolutely just loved. That's why I wrote down CPR, because I thought that's amazing. We got to share that out there. But there's so many people out here as they get to the end of the year. It's a big thing. Is we all know the holidays brings around. I know it's a great time of year, but it also brings out around the opposite. People get depressed around the holidays. They haven't accomplished what they want to. They deal with friends or people that look down on them at the holidays. Oh, are you what's going on with that thing you're doing? Or when are you going to get a real job? That's what my mom used to say for like 4 Christmases in a row. When are you going to get a real job, Scott Carson? And I'm like, Mom, you don't even want to know what I make, because I make what you make in a year, in a day.
Yeah.
But that's the thing you have to look at, is that so many people struggle with stuff like that. If I could shout it from the rooftops, that's why we got Ruby here, is take action, start doing little things. And if you really want a good kick in the butt, check out Ruby's event. February 22nd to the 24th. RubyFremon.com. Check it out there. The name of it is, what was the name again of it, Ruby?
Amplified Soul Live.
Amplified Soul. That's it. That's right.
Yeah. And like, for those of you who just want like a quick punch in the gut to get something done and also a taste for how I work, just go and get my free training. It's really good. It's how to conquer your bullshit with CPR. And that's at rubyfremon.com/CPR. No excuses. No fucking excuses.
No excuses, exactly. Do we lose her?
There we go. Okay, there we go. Back.
There we go. Now, you are also the host of the podcast LovePunch. You want to talk a little about that?
Yeah, LovePunch, which is soon to be rebirthed as today's Thought Leader podcast, but right now it is called LovePunch. And this is a podcast for those who are really seeking to become recognized thought leaders. I feature thought leaders as well as feature experts in different industries whose work would benefit thought leaders. So if you're someone who is really seeking to amplify your impact and bring your message to the masses, and show up in a bigger and bolder way, this is a great podcast for you, especially if you're down with the F-bombs, because those are dropped every single episode. Just an FYI.
Parental lyrics.
Yep, I've got the explicit symbol on my podcast. Mom and Dad are proud.
Mom and Dad are proud. That's awesome. That's good stuff out there. Ruby, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here in the afternoon. Lots of great nuggets. CPR out there. Check out her events once again, everybody. It is such a great event. You're going to love it. Once again, days for that are February 22nd to 24th in LA. You can check it out at rubyfremon.com. Check out the event schedule on there. Take the opportunity out. Ruby's just got a great big heart, but she's only coming from a place of love and helping people out, trying to help them overcome their obstacles. And trust me, you can't go wrong with that. If you need a little bit different hand than me, here's the person that you need to reach out to, because I guarantee she'll do a great job for you. And just tell it like it is. That's what we all want in today's. We don't want to be bullshit. We don't want to be lied to. Just tell it to me straight to the gut, right?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Scott. It's crazy because we've only known each other for a couple months now, and I just feel like we're besties in the making. I so appreciate you and what you do, and you inspire me with your presence and what you bring to the table. So thank you.
No problem. It's just my big goofy self. So
and all your sound machines.
And all my sound machine, but that was what was so great about the event with New Media Summit. And I did a podcast on the Nuggets for New Media Summit, is that there were so many great people there. So many of the icons are just amazing people, big hearts, really want to share out. And, that's when we did, International Podcast Day was just a blast for me, getting to hang out and spend a little bit more time with 30 plus other podcasters out there who really have a passion for what they're doing and really, sharing their message and making America great. One podcast episode at a time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. Well, hey, I'll let you get back to your fun stuff on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks again so much, Ruby.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Well, hey, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the Note Closer Show. Like I said, go check out rubyfremon.com. You can also follow her on all her social media. So I am Ruby. Just absolute great person. Definitely somebody you want to take to if you need to resuscitate your drive or put a little CPR on your entrepreneurship to get things rock and rolling. That way you can kick butt, go do some things. And like I said before and always, we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Have a great day. Bye. This is be live, not ended in here. Hang on here. All right. I'll see you later, Ruby.
Okay. Bye.